Hello, beautiful souls, fellow star seeds, and seekers of truth, knowledge, wisdom, and love. I'm Adam, and I'm here to bring you all esoteric wisdom around this coming holiday, Easter. That's right, Easter. And as you can see, there's a bunny with eggs. And a lot of you probably aren't aware, but bunnies represent fertility, and so do eggs. So we're going to talk about Easter and what it's really about, the esoteric wisdom behind Easter. So here we have this, then we have this, this, and this. All right, so first we're going to get into this. This is Ostara, also Easter, the Germanic goddess of spring and the dawn, often associated with new beginnings and fertility. Her name is believed to be the origin of the word Easter, and she's associated with symbols like eggs and bunnies, which are now part of Easter holiday. And then we have Ishtar. Ishtar, the Babylonian goddess. Ishtar, also known as Inanna in Sumerian, is a central figure in the Mesopotamian mythology, a powerful goddess associated with love, war, fertility, and beauty. She's often depicted as a warrior goddess, sometimes with a lion as a symbol. Ishtar also has connections to the planet Venus, particularly as the morning star. Also, Inanna happens to be the sister of Enlil and Enki. So, yeah, it can go pretty deep. But let's get into this anyway. So, first off, I want you to look at Ostara. And you can see that she's the goddess of nature. You know, you can see that she's holding on to the bunny there, and there's a deer sniffing the bunny. And you can see the squirrel and either a mouse or a rat. I don't know which one that is, but you can see she's totally with nature. She's the goddess of nature, and you know, in the Germanic ancient times, they would worship Ostara to bring in the spring, and then Ishtar. Ishtar, the Babylonian goddess, you can see in the background. You have those statues and everything, and then there's this one. This is another picture of Ishtar. Ishtar, you can see the two dragons on her head. And here's the most interesting one here of Ostara. You can see there's bunnies everywhere and flowers. Everything's blooming to bring in spring. These goddesses were worshipped in ancient times before Catholicism and Christianity and all that good stuff. So we're really going to get into this. Here we go. I'll give you this picture to look at because this one's a good one. Okay, here we are. So, esoteric wisdom around Easter, Ishtar, and Ostara. The symbolism of the egg, a key symbol in Easter and Ostara traditions, represents the potential of new life. That's how new life forms. Just as a seed contains the potential to become a tree, the egg symbolizes the latent possibilities waiting to be birthed. It's all about the birth and the rebirth, right? Because everything is starting to bloom. All the flowers, all the animals are coming out from hibernation, and you can see new animals are out too, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the birth and the rebirth, the potential of new life. In esoteric terms, this speaks to the idea of inner transformation, the personal evolution that happens when we emerge from periods of darkness or limitation into light and growth. The resurrection of the self. That would be Ishtar's journey to the underworld. We'll go back here to Ishtar. Ishtar's journey to the underworld, from which she rises again, mirrors the theme of spiritual resurrection, so you could also liken her to Persephone, the goddess that comes back, and then her mother Demeter, in Greek, Demeter is celebrating the return of her daughter. So you can liken that also to Persephone and Demeter. Um, Spiritual resurrection. In the depths of our own lives, we often undergo death like periods, be it a loss, emotional hardship, or an inner crisis. But like Ishtar, we too can emerge from our own personal underworlds, renewed and more aligned with our true selves. Easter, in this light, invites us to embrace these cycles and recognize that endings are necessary in order for new beginnings to happen. The balance of light and dark, Ostara, we'll go back to Ostara here. Ostara, celebrated at the spring equinox, marks the moment when day and night are in a perfect balance, and this speaks to the union of opposites, masculine and feminine. And you can see all the animals here. Here's another one, the butterfly, which represents transformation. During the cocoon state, the caterpillar is still in its cocoon state, and then it comes out of its cocoon. It has to make that struggle in order to develop its wings, beautiful wings to fly and be the butterfly, that transformational experience. So masculine and feminine, light and dark, conscious and unconscious. Esoterically, this balance is a reminder that we are not defined by one side of ourselves, but by the integration, keyword, integration, of both. True growth comes when we honor our shadow and our light. So don't just honor the shadow, don't just honor the light. Integrate both the shadow and the light, knowing that they are inextricably intertwined, just like the sun and the moon, or the tree that provides the shade. The awakening of the earth, Ostara and Ishtar. Ostara is a festival of fertility and rebirth, not just for the earth, but for the spirit. It's a time to plant seeds of our intentions, whether it's a creative project, a new habit, or personal healing. Similarly, Ishtar's renewal is symbolic of divine feminine, and you can see here Ishtar in her glory. Divine feminine awakening, and how this energy works to nurture and create. This period invites us to connect with the feminine aspect of creation, which is not just about procreation, but about the creative forces within us all. So remember that. Take this time to tap into your creativity, the creative forces within us all. The cosmic dance of death and rebirth across cultures, Easter, Ishtar, and Ostara invite us into a cosmic rhythm, the dance of life, death, and resurrection. When we experience hardship, we are challenged to remember that it's through facing our darkness and shedding old layers that we may make way for a new version of ourselves to emerge. This process is a sacred alchemy, turning suffering into wisdom, or lead into gold. Also, hardship into strength. So, some advice for us all at this time. Embrace your own resurrection. What old beliefs, patterns, or habits are you ready to shed? This is a time to revive parts of yourself that have been dormant, and to walk into your personal spring with new reality. Put a pep in your step. Spring into action. Create new beginnings. Like the fertile energy of the earth awakening, plant your seeds of intention now. Whether it's spiritual growth, creative projects, or self-improvement, now is the time to manifest new possibilities. Balance light and shadow. Take time to reflect on both your strengths and challenges. Integrating the light and shadow aspects of yourself creates a more holistic sense of being and is key to our inner growth. As we celebrate this time with our friends, family, and loved ones, this time of renewal, consider what parts of you need to rise anew. Let this be a season of spiritual rebirth, a chance to step into the next phase of your journey with a heart full of possibility. And that's what it's all about. It's all about this rebirthing process. Remember, we're spirits having this human experience. What is a human? A manifestation of light. We chose to look the way we look and to act the way we act. We are a manifestation of light. And as we celebrate this time of renewal, we can really do some self-reflection and go within and see what needs to change during this time. And you can see that both Ostara of the Germanic ancient times and Ishtar of the Babylonian times are reminding us of the transformation that's happening. And you can see also fertility and growth and regrowth and rebirth. And of course, you could see the butterfly. The butterfly represents transformation. All the bunnies, when they're mating, they have many offspring. And then, of course, the eggs themselves, fertility. So during this time, it's all about the rebirthing process. Thank you all for stopping by and learning some stuff about this esoteric meaning behind Easter and what it's all about. And now I want to share with you a special message to carry on during this holiday. Don't lose sight of this truth. You came here to evolve and grow. It is necessary to experience the difficult times. That is when you will grow most. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Be proud of your journey to self. All right. Thank you all for stopping by. If you haven't been here before, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Get the all to get more and more of this content because we share many things here. And the main goal is that we're all glowing in love. Thank you all for having a good time and enjoy the time with your family this Easter.